So every once in a while, when I'm not thinking about, the things that are going on during the day, I sit down and I'm thinking about the child that I'm about to have and the fact that I'm about to be a mother. And sometimes, as shocking as it is, obviously this is my first child, but I feel like when you're a firstborn and you've more or less assisted, sorry, you've more or less assisted in the raising of your siblings, you almost feel like it's not your first child. I don't know if that is a thing or if it's just with me. Because obviously, since my father passed, I've had the responsibility of like taking care of my siblings to a certain extent. My mom's amazing, she's a superwoman. But every once in a while, obviously, she still needs assistance, and I'm always kind of there. And I don't know, like thinking of having a child of my own, it's like really exciting for me. Do I wish in a perfect world that circumstances were different? Totally. Am I upset by what is going on? Not at all. I'm very excited and like scared and anxious, but this is one of the first times that my anxiety is like positive, if that makes any sense, like rightly so. And like I find myself up at random times in the night, kind of just thinking about,
It's 11 o'clock.
Thanks. Thinking about the things that I want to do with my child, the things I want to do for my child, the sacrifices that I'm already willing to make without actually even meeting them. I think it also helps if you're generally like a good person in real life and like you are willing to sacrifice for the people that are already in your life. Imagine when you're having somebody that is literally growing inside you and coming out of you. It's actually mad. Every once in a while, as well, almost every night, maybe every other night, I wake up in a bit of a panic, thinking of all the things that need to be done before churro is here, the things I need to buy, the appointments I need to book, and stuff like that. And it definitely helps that I'm not doing this alone. And by that, like, it's a thing where obviously my family is there, but churro's dad is here as well, and he's very, very much involved. We go for like my prenatals and stuff together. He's always trying to get me to rest. He's always like reporting me to the doctor. It's a really good situation, all things considered. But when you're somebody like me and you're not used to like being vulnerable and like asking for help and like opening up, I'm one of those friends that, and I hate starting sentences like that, but I'm one of those friends that I rather carry other people's burdens than share my burdens with other people. And now I find that I'm in a completely opposite situation where I'm needy, like I'm emotionally needy. I just want people to ask me how I'm feeling all the time. I don't know how to volunteer information, so I don't know how to start conversations about how I'm feeling. It's just like a lot of change going on. Like I find myself kind of not taking things as personal. When they say that having a child will change you, I don't think that it covers the reality of it, because even before you have the child, just the process will change you. There's so many things that I feel like I would take personal, and there's so many things that I would be extra sensitive to that now just kind of like dust off my back. A very good example is there are certain people that I hold very dear to my heart that have not really been stepping up in my life the way that I expected them to. These are friends, and mind you, I'm the first of like my close friends to be going through this. So there's that, but these are like people that I'm very close to, and there's this kind of disappointment that comes with when somebody is not putting in effort to make you feel comfortable with your new reality and not trying to adjust their lifestyle to fit into what your new reality is. Now, I'm not coming from a place where I assumed, there was no part of me that assumed even from the beginning that everybody would just all of a sudden switch up. The truth of the matter is that a lot of things in my life have not changed significantly right now. So I think the one thing that has really changed is obviously I can't drink no alcohol, and I love me some alcohol. But aside from that, a lot of things that I'm having to do as a pregnant person or restrict myself from are very normal to me. Like the healthy eating habits are already normal to me and stuff like that. So it's different for me, and there's no part of me that's really expecting somebody to just all of a sudden change their life to fit me. But at the same time, when you love people and they are going through things, you do tend to accommodate. You shouldn't even have to be asked. And I feel like certain people in my life, they probably mean well, but they are just oblivious to how something like this can not only affect them, but can affect our friendship. And it's just unfortunate because when you go through any serious life changes, like stuff like this happens, where all of a sudden, like you're really, really tight with somebody, and then something happens, like something life-changing happens to you or them, and you just can't be carried along. And my concern is that some people are making me feel like I can't carry them along, and it's going to be something that will end up being, it will be a blindsiding situation for people, if that makes any sense. It's just be a blindsiding situation because I will not be in a position to have that conversation with the person, to tell them what it is that they're doing that I don't appreciate, just because, once again, I don't feel like anybody should have to change their life for me. And that might be like a stubborn thing as well. Maybe I should sit people down and tell them this has changed. But there are certain things I just assume that common sense would let people know. But then again, common sense is so relative. These are just like some of my random thoughts. Something else that has been on my mind a lot since I found out I was pregnant, from like the first week after like the dust started to settle a little, I started doing a lot of praying and a lot of devotionals concerning pregnancy and praying for your child. And they have been so encouraging to me because when you're pregnant, you hear so many different things. You hear about all the symptoms and, oh my gosh, you're going to be so massive and blah, 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 blah. And in the whole experience so far, I mean, I still have some way to go, but in the experience so far, I have found that because I am chosen, I'm part of the chosen generation, and God has always made things a little more easy for me, or a little easier for me. I find myself, when people say things, saying to myself, yeah, that might be the world's norm, but that is not my norm. And that really helps me. Like, I never even have to think about it. When somebody says something, oh, your this will swell, or your that will swell, I'll be like, yeah, I'm sure that's what happens to everybody else, but that's not happening in my situation. And funny enough, that's exactly what it is. My symptoms, like I never had any like symptoms, which is probably why it took me so long to find out that I was pregnant. I was living my life exactly the way that I would have had I not been pregnant, and God was taking care of this baby without me even knowing that there was a baby. So for me, it's just like things are so different for me. Also, something that Dee told me the day that I told her about my baby, was that I should be very intentional about my prayer points. So the things that I want in my child, I should pray about them. And I've been doing that very fervently. I've been praying about certain characteristics. I've been praying about certain challenges that I don't want my child to have to experience. And I've been praying about even some superficial stuff like what I want my child to look like. But I just feel like for me, this pregnancy has brought out a different side of me spiritually as well. I feel way more spiritually in tuned. When I found out I was pregnant, I stopped going to church during the week because like last month was just a tip. Now that things have kind of normalized, I can figure out a way to get back into that. But like spiritually, I feel so sound, I feel so comfortable, I feel so safe. I feel like I have covered all my bases, and every day God is showing me more and more. Like every time this child like kicks or moves around, or I touch my stomach and it reacts to the fact that I'm touching my stomach, like I want to cry. It's just that bad man can't be crying every 5 seconds. But like God has been so awesome during this pregnancy. It hasn't been easy. There have been different points in time where I've just like experienced things that may not even be that big in the grand scheme of things, but that have broken me down. And I wanted to start this mini series on my YouTube channel where I just say my thoughts exactly how I feel without feeling like I have to edit it. If you're ever on the Brownie Diaries, you know that I used to do something called Bella Uncut. So I guess this is me uncut again, but maybe like the mom version of stuff. I'm just excited but anxious because I just feel like there's so much information that I need, and like I don't have enough time to get all that information. I want everything to be perfect for Churro when they come into the world, and I know that's an unrealistic expectation, but I don't know how to explain it. Maybe next time I hold the camera to vlog, I'll be able to explain it. But yeah, my next Vlogmas episode is coming soon. I think last time I did 5 to 9, so now I'm trying to do like 10 to 15, 11 to, I said 10 to 16 to 20. Like I'm just trying to bulk it up as much as possible because not that much is happening right now. So yeah, but I do want to see if I can keep posting regularly, even if it's just my thoughts. I'm finally starting my podcast tomorrow. I've been trying to record since, but for some reason I can't be settled enough to record. So I'm going to pray about it in the morning and then dedicate majority of my day. I have 2 events to stop by, but I'm going to dedicate majority of my day to my podcast. I'm really excited for what the future brings. Like, I've become one of those moms that is constantly rubbing my stomach. Like, anytime I feel safe, I rub my stomach. Anytime I feel like somebody's driving recklessly, I hold my stomach. Like, I'm so possessive of my tummy right now because as far as I'm concerned, I'm literally in the process of co-creating, basically collaborating with Churro's dad and with God to create like the perfect human being before chemical X is added. So sugar, spice, and everything nice. It's a big job, you know. But yeah, I'm going to try and go to sleep now. I'm going to see if I can upload this immediately so that, you know, this is happening in real time. It'll probably be out tomorrow. Today is the 14th of December. And yeah, guys, see you soon for another video.